one of the great Michael Jackson tribute artists, is here in Las Vegas. Chris Yannick, C1 Interview covering Las Vegas and the world. The forthcoming C1 Interview is with longtime Michael Jackson tribute artist Jalles Franca. You can see him weekly in the Michael Jackson Tribute Concert Show at Harrah's Las Vegas Hotel and Casino. It's called MJ Live. Shows start again at 5:30 p.m. and 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Jalles has been performing as the King of Pop for a long time. The new Michael Jackson movie, Michael, has brought the King of Pop back to the worldwide attention. This is a C1 Interview you don't want to miss, with so many Michael Jackson topics. Jalles, thanks so much for being on C1 Interview today to talk everything Michael Jackson and more. How are you, sir?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Doing good. I just got back in town from tour. A little jet lagged. As you know, we've been on tour for the past, 6 to 8 weeks? I don't even know. Because we do our show. We do the MJ Live show at a Harrah's Casino 6 nights a week. And we also do tour shows. So it's just every weekend, we're home and then we hop on a plane and we do, all the cities, all the states. It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work. But it's a lot of fun.
When did you first know you could do Michael Jackson?
I don't think I've ever noticed that I could do that. I've been a long time fan of Michael since I was a little boy. I have Michael Jackson tattoos on me. This is the interesting thing. Even back in Brazil, when I, obviously I spoke no English. I had no knowledge of the English language at all. But when I heard, Thriller, Smooth Criminal, Billie Jean, that connection with the music it just clicked. And I watched Michael do all those amazing things that no one can ever do and no one will ever do. There's always going to be only one Michael Jackson, no matter what. I instantly I fell in love, and I was intrigued. I was wowed, and listening to the music, not having a clue what he meant, but music, it just spoke to me, and little by little, man, this little passion became a dream, and then this dream became an even bigger passion, and I never looked back, and here we are. I truly believe that no matter what you want to do in life, if you put your mind to it, it's an old cliche, it's an old saying, but it really is true. The problem is that nowadays everybody wants instant success. Everybody wants to be instant to that success that comes in quickly, with the TikTok videos, with the lip syncing, the overreacting, and the people don't want to really put in the work and and grow within the art. Everybody wants to be famous just like right away. So, and only the greats, they get better, but with time, just grinding all the time, man. That's my 2 cents on that.
Well, you, obviously, the show has been in Vegas, I think, for 13 years, 14 years, whatever it might be, more than a decade. Why don't you tell me what it was like for you at the beginning compared to where you are now, to start with?
It was a dream at the beginning, and it continues to be a dream now. It seems like almost 14 to 15 years since we started this journey. I always do this, man. I because for us, or for performers, or unlike any other job, doing this for 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, 15 years, however long you do it. You do the same shows, you sing the same songs, you wear the same makeup, the same costumes. It's very repetitive when it comes to the show itself, right? Because it's the same songs. It's a Michael Jackson tribute show, or an Elvis, or Prince, whatever tribute you're doing it. And it can get, after so many years, a lot of people ask me, like, do you ever get tired of it? And the answer is, I don't get tired, because we have a lot of fun with it from the very beginning up until the very last minute of the show. My rule, the thing that I always put in my mind, for me to stay fresh, for me to not ever take it for granted, because it could be taken away like this. as tomorrow's not promised for anybody. Um, I always try to have a good time, and I treat every show like it is my first. You know what I mean? Excitement, happiness. Because although for me it's the same show for the dancers, for the band, for the people that are watching, it's the first show. Often people come to the show from out of from different countries, and they're like, "Hey, Jalles, we saved however amount of money to come to the show. We're staying at this little hotel. Me, my wife, my kids, we're super excited to come see you." And again, for us, it's like, man, we do this every day, and you can easily just like take it for granted in a way. It's kind of like when we live in Vegas. The lights are right here. We can see it any night that we want. There are people around the world. I mean, I have family members in Brazil that have never been here, and they think it's the greatest thing in the world. Where for us, we drive on the strip and we're just like, you know, sometimes you just don't even take a second look because we're so used to it. So when it comes to the show, I always do a show like it is my first show, because even though for us it's not, for the audience it's the first show. It's that first time that they've seen it. uh, some days you have good days, bad days. Some days you're tired, some days you have no voice, some days you have a headache, some days you just don't feel like doing anything. Like we all have those days. But to the audience, they don't know that. It's not their fault so I always try to step on stage with that mindset that it's all about the audience. It's not about me, it's about them. It's about the audience who are true Michael Jackson fans. And that way, with hard work, you get longevity. You really do. Remember who you are. Don't get stuck up. Don't think like you're better than anyone else. Treat everybody with love, kind, and respect. You treat people how you want to be treated. And I think follow your passion, and you're gonna go far. That's just
I think those are wonderful words for anybody watching our C1 interview today. Um, which part of Michael Jackson's performance style is actually the hardest to recreate on a live stage?
oh man. Anyone can emulate the dancing. Anyone can sing the songs and the lyrics. It is impossible to sound like Michael Jackson. And it is impossible to impersonate someone's personality. You can have someone's traits, you can copy someone's jokes, someone's moves, and they're hard. It's like hard shoes to fill in, because we get a lot of love, but we also get a lot of criticized, because once us as the impersonator or the tribute artist, there is a difference, by the way. There's a lot of people that don't know, which I'll explain later. But once you step on that stage as a Michael Jackson tribute artist, or an Elvis, or a Prince, or whoever it is that you're paying tribute to, that person no longer exists. It's the face, the costumes, the voice, if you're playing guitar, if you're playing piano, because the audience doesn't know Jalles Franca. The audience doesn't know so and so. The audience came to see Michael Jackson because it's a Michael Jackson tribute show. Therefore, you have to try to detach yourself from the character that you're portraying, which is really hard, because in a way you have to forgive who you are for like an hour plus. It's and then you have to step into those shoes of whoever you're impersonating. And if you don't do it to a T, there's a lot of there's a lot of love, but there's a lot of like, oh my god, he doesn't sound like him, he doesn't look like him, he's too tall, he's too this, he's too that. And what I tell people is like, listen, at the bottom it says a Michael Jackson tribute show. We never claim to be the photocopy, because that's impossible. No one will ever look like him, sound like him, dance like him. But respect to all my fellow tribute artists, who, because I know how hard it is to step into that light and try to pay tribute as best as we can to this iconic, bigger than life person who was Michael Jackson. It's a very tough thing to do. And I think often people forget that we're up there trying our very best, trying to bring a lot of love and joy and happiness through his music. And I'm okay with people not knowing who I am because it's not about me. I've always said that. There's a lot of people that use the name of the celebrity that they're impersonating in order to get a bit of a recognition, and then they start doing their own thing, and vice versa. I think that's kind of weird and shady. I don't think you should put them together. You know what I'm saying? You either should be whoever impersonating, and if you're gonna do your own thing on the side, then do that. But don't mash it. Uh, Michael Jackson wasn't a magician. Michael Jackson wasn't a fighter. Michael Jackson wasn't a driver. Michael Jackson wasn't. He was Michael Jackson. He sang and he danced and he shared a lot of love and joy through the gift of his music. That's what Michael Jackson did. Michael Jackson gave a lot of money and time, and he healed so many children all around the world. That's who Michael Jackson was. Anything other than that, if you're using Michael Jackson's likeness to do anything other than that, I think it's strange, and I think it's just, I don't think it's cool. That's my 2 cents on that. Some people may disagree, but
I hear what you're saying, and you have a lot of good, valid points there. Just in quick note, tell people about the show at Harrah's, what they could expect if they're coming to Vegas and they should see it.
Oh man, they're gonna expect a show packed full of all the Michael Jackson hits. Thriller, Smooth Criminal, Billie Jean, the entire Jackson 5 medley. I'll be there. ABC, Stop the Love You Safe. I mean, you name it. I guarantee, and it's for all ages, from the very young up until 5 and above, up until the very mature. Let's put it that way, right? We don't like to say old, we say mature. And I guarantee you're gonna leave with a smile on your face. We bring, like I said before, we bring a lot of joy and a lot of happiness. For me, when I'm on stage and I see people smiling and I see people, I've seen people cry, and it's emotional in a good way because as we all know, Michael is gone, and shows like ours keep his legacy alive. Little kids that are growing up now, Michael's been gone for a long time. When he passed in 2009, June 25th, 2009. A lot of the little kids now, and that during the meet and greets, because we do a meet and greets after the show, it warms my heart to know, 5, 6, 7, 10-year-old little kids, they know the lyrics, they know how to sing, they know how to dance, they do everything. It truly warms my heart, and it brings me so much joy to see the new generation continue to listen to Michael's music, and we pass the torch and keep his legacy alive. But the show is packed full of action. We have a live band. We have 8 dancers, backup dancers. Myself in doing Michael Jackson. I do Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. We're dark Sundays. On Mondays, we have a gentleman named Santana Jackson who performs because I can't do it. Nobody can work every day, nor does anybody want to work every day, right? He also does a tremendous job. Regardless of what night you come to CMJ Live, you're going to have an amazing time, a great time. Tickets are super, they're not crazy expensive whatsoever, because there's a lot of shows out there that are charging an arm and a leg. We're very, very down there. Anybody can come to the show, man, and you're going to have a great time.
Oh, absolutely. It's a phenomenal show for what you get. I agree. The value for the entertainment is absolutely worth it. Okay, so let's just move along. I don't know if it already has, or do you think it will, the Michael movie, more interest in MG Live? Have you guys seen attendance go up? Is everything about the same before the movie? How would you gauge this? Do you think that the movie will create more renewed interest if it already hasn't?
As far as, in my opinion, I don't think that the movie gave a boost, nor I think it stayed the same. I haven't seen the movie at all. I don't think I plan on watching it. I have my personal views about that. In a way, when Michael was going through all the stuff that he was going when he was alive, no one was there, no one from the family except for his mother was there to help him out. kind of like really help him out. And every so often, you see a documentary and or you see a movie, and yeah, the claim is to keep his legacy alive, but in a way, there's a bunch of people that are just thinking of that. And if Mike was alive, I don't think that he would allow any of this to be happening right now. He didn't like this exploitation that happens with his catalog and his music and his everything. I haven't seen it. I heard good things about it, and I heard a lot of bad things about it. I heard that there was a lot of things that was left behind, but I guess that's because they want to do a number two and a number three and a number four, which means they just want to keep making money. And again, when he was alive, no one was there. The lawyers, the brothers, the families, the so-called friends, no one was there to help him out and pull him out and really help him. Michael Jackson should still be here. So that's just my opinion on that. I'm a true fan. I love him. I owe everything to God and Michael Jackson and the fans, and he was gone too soon. He should still be here.
So here's my question to you, though. So you've met a lot of those family members. I don't remember if you've met Catherine or not, but what do they think of what you're doing? Because I know that you've met them over your career.
I met Miss Jackson, Miss Michael's mother, a couple times, and I can totally see where Michael Jackson got, his personality and his loving from. 100% from the mother. The sweetest, nicest lady. Obviously, when I was talking to her, very brief, and I wasn't over there like, oh, this, come see me perform. I do this. No. I wanted to take in that moment. It wasn't about me. It was about being there next to this person. She made Michael Jackson. What a blessing. And anything that she said, she did say thank you and God bless you. I appreciate everything you do for my son and continue to keep his legacy alive. Because before we got to her, they briefed to let her know who was coming. This is so and so. You don't just walk in and start talking to Catherine, right? So she kind of had an idea who I was and what I was doing. But when I have some photos in my Instagram that I was literally like kneeling down next to her, holding her hand, and I was just listening because at that moment I was just like taking in the moment. Sometimes when people go to shows and they watch the show through their cell phones, even though they're in the theater, it's like, stop doing that. Put your freaking
I
phone.
agree. I don't get that at all.
Put your freaking phones away. Live in the moment. You will never get this moment again. And at that moment with her, I'm like, I'm not about to pull out my phone here and take a photo and stuff like this. I was holding her hand and just listening to the sweet voice and the things that she was saying, and I don't regret it. We live in this era where everything is selfie photo. Like, you can't have a conversation with someone trying to ask you for a goddamn photo, and this is, let alone those really like the celebrities. I don't know, those are really hard. That'd be hard to do, man. Sometimes you just want to have a conversation between a person to a person, and not like this, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, but yeah, that was having that moment with Catherine, with Miss Jackson, was incredible. It was great. I loved it. I think the only thing that was better than that was when I actually met Michael Jackson. But she was the sweetest, and she's God bless her. I love her.
What year was that?
That I met her. This is when the Jacksons were doing a show at Atlanta Hollywood. They did a couple of shows at Atlanta Hollywood. I believe that was in 2013, 14, something like that. Yeah, it's been a while.
Got it. So let me just ask you then, I'm sure the hardest question would be that you probably have thought about is, what would Michael think of my performance?
As far as I understand, Michael he really enjoyed people that pay tribute to him, such as impersonators or tribute artists. There are actually a couple of videos of online where Michael would show up to somebody's show before I started doing Michael to the level that I am doing right now. And you can see Michael watching, just like cheering for the guy, for the person paying tribute. And to me, that is like, how awesome is that, man? Like, imagine that guy doing a show to Michael, and obviously that's his idol. It is mine. And then you see Michael Jackson in the audience, standing up and cheering, clapping for you. That's the kind of person Michael Jackson was. Because there are some people out there who do not despise impersonators and tribute artists. They think it's weird. They think it's like we're stealing their. I'm like, no, man, we're fans. Man, we make a living, but we love it. And it's shows like these that keep the legacy going. Look at Elvis Presley, who passed in the 70s. There are tons of Elvis shows and tributes out there. Without those shows, the light begins to dim until it goes out. We keep this train going, And it's not to say that we are Elvis, we are Michael, we are Prince, or whoever. We're fans just like everybody else. We just like to do it in a broader way and keep the legacy going, keep the love going. The majority of people who pay tribute to their idols, they're fans. They're hardcore fans. I mean, I have Michael Jackson things all over my house, signed memorabilia. We're fans, and we do it because we love it, man.
Oh, I can understand that. Which Michael Jackson era do you think audience connect with most today? Is there one?
I think that's everybody has their favorites. I've met people who like Michael from the 70s. We got the Afro going on. There are some people who like the Michael from the 80s and then the 90s up until This Is It. My favorite era, which is the era that I portrayed at the show, is late 80s to early 90s. When Michael had the jerry curl and had the belt buckles going on and all of the bad stuff, and then he goes into 90s. Before that, the Victory Tour was great too. A little before my time, to say the least. And then there's the This Is It tour. But my favorite.
You and me both, by the way.
Uh-huh.
You and me both, by the way. The Victory Tour was right before my time too.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's just like a song. Often people ask me, like, what's your favorite Michael Jackson song? It's impossible to have one or even two or three. I think it depends on the mood, because Michael had songs for everything. He would come in and sing I'll Be There with an angelic, beautiful voice, and then you can hear him like just tearing it up with Dirty Diana and Beat It, like, or Give In To Me. Like, it sounds so different, or Smooth Criminal. Like, as often as I try to replicate that, it never comes the same. And and it won't, because that's why he was Michael Jackson. But answering your question, I think everybody has their favorite era, just like they have their favorite songs. Some people love Thriller, Billie Jean, Smooth Criminal, the Jackson 5. And when you put it all together, they're all great eras. They're all great songs.
Oh, I agree with that too. So how long did it take you to really get the moonwalk down?
Man, I'm still trying to learn that stuff, man. Wow. When I first tried to do the moonwalk, man, I was a little kid back in Brazil. I think I have a photo on my Instagram. I was going to a costume Halloween carnival, because in Brazil, back in my day, we didn't have Halloween. We had Carnival, which is like Mardi Gras kind of thing. We still have that in Brazil. And we dress up as whatever. We have costumes. My costume was Batman. I was about 8 to 9 years old, maybe 8. But here's what I did. I was such a Michael Jackson fan that I decided to not wear my Batman boots that my mother and my grandmother got for me. I put on my white socks, my black loafers about this big, and then I took off my cape, and I had a little hat little black fedora that I cut I cut little holes on the side so I could put it through my mask with the Batman ears going through the hat. And that was my costume. Instead of being Batman, I was Bat Jackson. And I actually have a photo on my Instagram of that. It's hilarious. And I walked out of my room, and my grandma's like, "What the heck are you wearing?" I'm like, "Wear the boots." I'm like, "I don't want to wear the boots. I want to wear these because I'm." She's like, "But that's not Batman. You know, Batman wears the black and the yellow." I'm like, "No, I'm gonna wear. I'm Bat Jackson." 8 years old. Um, just the little kids, man. We just go with it and we just dream. And I thought it was the coolest thing. And I was dancing to Billie Jean, and my friends are like, "What is your costume? What are you doing?" I'm like, "Shh, it's Bat Jackson. Don't mess with me."
That's some funny stuff. Give us kind of like an overview of how much time goes into prepping for each show. Obviously, the costumes, the makeup, the dressing, the choreography. Do you ever do rehearsals or practice stuff? Like, what are we looking at?
Yeah, man, we got to do rehearsals. We got to do it. It's like a car, man. A lot of the times you just think you just put gas and go. No, you got to service the brakes. You got to change the oil. You have to pop the hood once in a while and give it a tune up. Uh, it's like Michael said, like, if you want to become great, study the greats. But if you want to remain great, you have to continue putting in the work. You don't just like it's really hard to achieve success. It is even harder to keep up there and stay successful. Most people nowadays that achieve success, they're 10, 15 minutes of fame. If you think about it, nowadays people write singles. They don't write albums anymore. Back in the day, people would put 12, 14, 16 songs, and it would take them years writing and producing all that stuff. And when they released the album, it was a banger because if one or two or three songs didn't do well, you had at least another 15 or 12 or whatever. Nowadays, because of the lack of talent and because people are lazy, in my opinion, you know, you have AI that can literally help you do anything. You have all kinds of apps and computers that if you don't know how to sing and if you can't hit that note, no problem. You hit that key, and the auto tune will fix it and make you sing like you've never sung before. And it's a pandemic. This is why people don't do it nowadays. They don't sing live anymore. I don't know if you remember back in the day when Milli Vanilli won a Grammy for that song. They won that song because that song was such a hit back in the 90s, right? And then they discovered that they weren't really singing in that song. They hired, the management, whoever the person was, the company hired a whole band and singers to sing, and then they took that and they gave it to these, and they just went along because they were like, wait, we get to get paid and have fame, no one is going to know, until it got stuck, right? And then I guess the tape back in the day was cassette tape, right? And then make a long story short, they got caught. They had to, give back their Grammy. I mean, their career was over, as fast as it became, they just lost everything. Nowadays, you see the majority of people getting famous for doing exactly what happened back then. You don't see people writing, take a piece of paper, sit there for hours and hours and pour your feelings. It's a connection, and okay, this rhymes with this, that, and you sit there and you grab the guitar or the piano and you compose, and that's music, that's art. Nowadays, people have a laptop with AI and all kinds of apps, and with AI nowadays, they can write you a song, they can sing it for you, they can auto-tune it for you, and once AI does everything, you get it, and you don't even sing it because you just lip sync to it. Talent nowadays has been extremely watered down. But in life, everything does this. We have to go through these cycles in life until people get sick of the BS again and the fake stuff. Everything is fake nowadays. Everything is fake nowadays. The only way for you to kind of have a sense of reality is having a conversation with people one on one, which is what we were talking about earlier. You know, like people talking and texting, and people don't even call you anymore. They just like, hey, they just text. I'm like, call me, or come over, talk to me. I'm old school that way, man. I don't like the era that we live right now. I don't like it. But there's nothing we can do about it. And as far as getting ready, yeah, you got to rehearse, you got to take care of the costumes. You have to. It drives me nuts when I see someone performing, let's say Billie Jean, and they're wearing, I don't know, a beaded jacket. Like, why? Use the right tools. Use the Billie Jean jacket. Don't wear the glove unless you're gonna perform. Unless you're gonna perform Billie Jean, do not put this thing on. Okay. By the way, these are real Swarovskis. This is the real deal right here. Look at that.
Wow,
Yeah,
cool stuff.
cool stuff. But don't perform Thriller wearing something other than a Thriller jacket. Do it like Michael Jackson did it. Do it like how Elvis did it, how Prince did it. Keep it. And those things are easy to do. I'm not saying you're going to sound like Michael Jackson, you're going to sound exactly like them, but the things that you can and have control, such as choreography, wardrobe, makeup. Some guys won't even shave. I'm like, dude, you put makeup on top of your 5 o'clock shot or your mustache? Like, put the work in, man, a little bit. And then they wonder why they don't achieve this, they don't get that, they don't get gigs, they don't. It doesn't keep going. It's because they want to use the image of Michael or Prince or Elvis or whoever the celebrity is, and then they want to do everything else. They want to be a rapper as Michael Jackson. They want to be a fighter as Michael Jackson. They want to be a driver as Michael Jackson. It's whatever will catch the likes, whatever will catch the comments. As long as they're in there, they don't care. Some people will, if they're willing to get paid to pretend to throw a fake baby doll over the balcony, like what Michael Jackson way back in the day did it, which that was crazy. I didn't agree with that either. I don't know what Michael Jackson was thinking when he did that. But I've seen people do that where they will throw like a fake baby over the balcony just so they can get the clicks and the likes. To me, that's not a fan. To me, you're literally using Michael's likeness and image to your own advantage. And it's hard to respect somebody that does that. You know what I mean? I'm a hardcore Michael
I
fan.
agree. Well, one thing that hasn't changed before we wrap up, I got a last couple for you, but one thing that hasn't changed, Mr. Franca, is live performance, which you do almost every night, every week.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Nowadays, you see a lot of DJs. I mean, think about it. Back in the day on MTV, you would see bands and musicians, and people would set up their drum kits and their basses and everything was live. That time is gone nowadays. Even when you go to a nightclub.
One of the things that people still want, though.
Yeah, it's what people want now. There's a lot of people that like that because it's the younger generation. They don't have anything else to judge, to really compare. You know what I mean? I'm a little older now, so I'm like, I much rather go to a lounge in a place where there's a little band and they're playing live music and versus a loud ass DJ. And this is no disrespect to DJs. I used to DJ back in my day. I've been a DJ, but I enjoy live music versus that. And I understand why people do it because it's cost effective. It's cheaper to hire a DJ for a wedding than to hire a whole band. I understand.
What are your thoughts on the entertainment community in Las Vegas? You've been here for a while.
As far as what? I mean,
it's like, we have a huge collection of singers and magicians and dancers and all kinds of people and that's what I'm asking basically. Like, what do you think about the overall entertainment community?
To summarize it, I'm going to say there's no place like Las Vegas. I mean, Some people call it this, Sin City. Some people call it this city. I've been all around the world. When I was in Brazil, I've never dreamt of. I would look at Las Vegas through the TV, and I would see the mirage and the volcano going, the eruption of the volcano, which is, oh, I'm so sad that that's gone. And be totally enchanted and fantasize about being in Las Vegas, man. People work really hard to save up a little bit of money to come to Las Vegas once in their lifetime. There are all kinds of shows that suit for whatever. There's the topless shows, the magic shows, the tribute shows, the Cirque du Soleil shows. There's all kinds of stuff for whatever your flavor might be. There's of course restaurants of any kind. There's no place like Las Vegas, and I love this place. I think Las Vegas is a beautiful place to come and visit and have a good time for adults. For children, not so much. Because of the gambling, the alcohol. It's an adult place for a place for adults. Let's put it that way. And sometimes when I see adults just pushing little kids on their carts, at 11 at night, I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Leave the babies at home. This is a place for adults. I personally love it here. Without Las Vegas, it's home away from a lot of performers such as myself, and there's thousands of people who came from different countries such as myself to try to come here and make a living, an honest living, pursuing our passion, and continue giving love and joy and happiness, because I think we live in a crazy world nowadays where we're missing this. We need togetherness. We need compassion. We need love. We need understanding. We need to stop judging. We need to understand that everyone is fighting a battle that you have no idea what that person is going through. It's really easy to honk at somebody, yell at someone for cutting you off. I think we need to take a deep breath and be kinder to our neighbors. You don't have to know people. Leave if you can leave a place better than when you came in there. I often like if I'm in places and I see a wrapper on the floor, pick it up, put it in the trash. Try to leave people with a sense of happiness. Hug people, look people in the eye, ask them how they're doing. How was your day? Let me ask you this, Chris. When was the last time somebody looked you in the eye and said, hey, Chris? I'm talking about looked you in the face, in the eye, not text, not call, and said, how you doing, man? How was your day?
Probably in the last week or so. I mean, fortunately, I get to interact with so many of you guys in the Las Vegas entertainment community, and I've got friends who come into town. But I hear exactly what you're saying. What I agree with you on is this: the lack of human interaction with each other has gone down, absolutely. But where I feel inspired is the fact that there are shows like MJ Live and so many other on the Strip that people come to because they want to see that human connection still.
And we definitely do that every single night, man. And we hope to continue doing that and spreading the joy and happiness so this can be a better world for all of us. You know what I mean?
Let's close with this because we were talking about it earlier. Biggest misconception about tribute artists, and what is the difference, in your opinion, between a tribute artist and an impersonator? We'll close with that.
Again, we get a lot of love and we get a lot of hate. Some people sometimes will shout things, like, when you're gonna get a real job? You're not happy being yourself. You have to live your life being someone else. You must be really unhappy with your life. And instead of lashing out or screaming at that person or typing on social media, I learned to just pray for that person. That person is obviously dealing with some things that, insecurities or whatever. I don't let those things get to me at all. Those comments and those things don't dictate how my day-to-day is going to be. They certainly don't pay the bills. So I try to, if somebody says that to me, to my face, it's like, you looking back and you're like, hey, you feeling okay? You got that out? Do you want to say it again? And they feel stupid. They feel like awkward because they didn't get a reaction out of you. No matter what, never give the reaction to people like that. Impersonator and tribute artist. When I started doing this, I was an impersonator. Why? I didn't know how to do the makeup. I didn't know how to dress up. I barely knew the choreography. I certainly didn't sing live. It's kind of like high school and then college, university. You start as an impersonator. And when you graduate, then you go to tribute artist. You cannot call yourself a tribute artist if you don't sing live. I don't care what you say. There's a lot of people out there like, oh, I'm a so-and-so tribute artist. And then they lip sync to whoever they're impersonating's music. You can't do that. I mean, you can, but it just doesn't go together. So if you're going to impersonate Elvis, obviously he wasn't a dancer, but he played guitar and he sang. You can't call yourself an tribute artist and you don't play the guitar and you don't sing live like Elvis. You're lip syncing to his music and you're not playing the guitar because you can't. And I'm not knocking you because you can't. But you know what? If you want to graduate and move forward and expand and take some lessons, take some vocal lessons, get a vocal coach. Nowadays, through computers and YouTube, everything is for free. You can find all kinds of stuff. You can learn how to, hold a tune and sing and whatnot. So that's the thing. When you're beginning, if you don't sing live, if you don't play the instruments, you're not a tribute artist. If you lip sync it to someone else's voice, you're at best an impersonator, yeah, because you're impersonating him, but that's what the difference really is. And you can ask any seasoned tribute artist out there who's been doing this for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. That's what it is,
Oh, I agree with that 100%. Jalles Franca, thank you so much for joining me. Monday through Saturday, MJ Live at Harrah's Las Vegas Hotel and Casino, 7 p.m. Why should people come see the show in closing?
Well, because the show is packed full of fun, Again, we do a lot of the Michael Jackson tribute shows. It's impossible to do all of them, It's for all ages. And just like you said, we do it Monday through Saturday. We're dark Sundays, sometimes at 7 p.m. and sometimes at 5:30 p.m. Come check us out, and you're going to have a wonderful time. Come see us at MJ Live.
Oh, absolutely. It's an amazing show. Jalles Franca, thanks so much for joining us on C1 Interview and hang on with me.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.